Howdy do, anglers and anglerettes. How are you? I'm fine, thank you for asking. Hot, still hot. Man, I'll tell you, this week we've got upper 90s, and here we are 3 days removed from the first day of fall. I'm wearing one of my old softball shirts. This was back from '94, and we used to play 4, 5, even 6 games a day in this heat. I mean, how is that even possible? But hey, those days have long passed in the rearview mirror. And another thing that has long passed is going out and trying to catch fish without seeing them. Swimming around and pinpointing and pointing out that one fish that you want or whatever else. Man, what does the world come to? I'll tell you, it's just crazy. And hey, I've had to do it too. And eventually, there'll even be one on my boat. Today we've got a fun little show. It's not much, won't be very long. Running the rivers in our little Gator Tough G318 jet, just to give you an idea of what you still can do without spending literally an arm and a leg, literally, to pay for all the stuff that you need to where you think you can catch fish. So hope you enjoy it. Thanks again for watching and sticking with us and all. And we look forward to many more episodes if they'll keep me around. So anyway, enjoy mid-September, little Ozark River, having some fun drifting and catching some fish. So Wes, take it over.
Good morning, guys. We are out here on a beautiful foggy morning on the James River here in Southwest Missouri, doing one of my favorite things, bobber fishing. It's became one of my favorite things, but man, conditions couldn't be better. There's not a single person out here, and we're gonna be chasing some smallmouth and maybe some spotted bass, maybe some other bonus fish. But the first thing we gotta do is catch some bait. That's the perfect size right there. That's a chub minnow. A lot of you guys have seen bass fishermen using this for their live wells. If you ever go into a bait shop and you notice the water's blue, most of the time if you look up on their shelf, this is what you're gonna see sitting there, or some variation of it.
Well, right now the boy is out there catching bait. And
I got 3, Scott.
he's excited right now because he just caught 3. So we may be here at least another 2 hours for him catching bait, but I got plenty of coffee, and it's just kind of fun watching him. He's so excited, you can hear him in the background whooping. Yeah, he caught 3. So think how excited he'd be if he had a net full. But hey, that's catching bait.
Thanks for letting me borrow your net today, Scott. These are chub minnow. I nose hook them most of the time, and then I put them right in the water, because if you leave them out of the water, that's how they start dying, obviously. But you know, when I first started minnow fishing, I'd be standing there holding my minnow out of the water, and the guy's like, hey, put your minnow in the water. Now the water's pretty shallow, so our bobber stop's gonna be about 1 foot. And I'm gonna look for deep holes, and I'm gonna look for wood. They're the 2 things I'm really looking for right now for this bobber drift. First drop. Guys, we've got a little smallmouth bass. We had a little bit of technical difficulty. The GoPro was off. We didn't get the bobber down. Spotted bass. First species of the day. These spotted bass are really starting to come up in this river from Table Rock. But that's the first fish of the day, first cast of the day. And we apologize, we're getting our bearings and didn't get the bobber down, but you'll just have to trust us. Right in the top of the mouth. Gonna call that drone that's way back there in the fog, might have got it. But Just a little river smallmouth. And look, this is a little smaller fish, but on a bobber, on this ACC rod, it makes these fish fun, especially in a foot of clear water. I could do this all day. And that's what we're gonna do. I'm looking for current, I'm looking for logs, and that's the combination usually. So we're gonna make our first cast here and get this thing started. I mean, didn't sit there but 2 seconds. What is this? It's got a little gold. Is it a smallie? If it is, it's a long one. Maybe a walleye. There's a fish with it too. We got a smallmouth, I believe, guys. And on these ACCs today, we are using 7.6 ACCs. It's just about as fun a way to catch a fish, in my opinion. Look at this, out here, first cast off a log drift over here. And we got us a nice, beautiful river smallmouth that's just digging. Guys, I take my time with them because it's fun and because these fish fight about twice as hard as a lake fish. So, light line, light tackle, light leader. I'm not gonna spot lock this yet until I get this guy. And you got that net back there? Please, sir, hand me that net, just for ease of, it's not gonna slide out, is it? There he is. First fish, first cast of the day. It's a long, skinny river smallmouth that I'm glad to have. Look at the colors on that fish. How pretty is that? And guys, look, you catch this on heavy bait caster out in the lake. I mean, you're gonna whip him right in, skim him on the surface, but you saw what he did to that ACC on that light tackle. And that fish right there fought that hard. I mean, you got to give it up to these river fish. That is just amazing how hard they fight. We got our Gorilla Grip gloves on. Guys, this is something I've started wearing a lot. Protects me from these fin spikes, and it takes a little bit getting used to wearing gloves if you don't wear them, but you're really liking them. You should give them a look. Here he goes. All right, guys, we might need to get some more minnows. I mean, there's thousands upon thousands of.
Are you just telling this to me?
6-7 inch gizzard shad that swim this river. What do we got here? A little something. We got us a, look at this. We got our third species of the day. We got us a little sunfish. Little Missouri sunfish. I believe that would be of the perch variety.
It's a brim, little brim variety.
Little brim. The blue on him.
You got it right, a female sunfish.
All right, guys, I'm going to show you how I rig these slip bobbers we've been using to catch these fish and drift these rivers. So we've got a bobber stop tied on, first thing up the line, braided line. And then I like using a bead. You don't have to. But I like using a bead between the slip bobber, or the bobber stop and the bobber, because it, you know, you can get pinched in that hole with your bobber stop, and then next thing you know, you're hung up in a good drift. So put a bead on, then run your bobber in. I like using these tail bobbers. I don't know what this style's called. You know, about as fun a way to fish. And then from here, this to me is the most important part of the rig. A lot of guys will use split shots, but a buddy of ours, Kyle Lassiter, uses these dual swivel weights, and it's just so much better. You don't fight those split shots sliding around. You don't get the knots wrapped around the split shots. All right, guys, to recap, little bait hook, probably size 1 maybe, fluorocarbon leader. I'm gonna cut that tagline, a dual barrel weight, bobber, bead, bobber stop. That's our rig. So essentially what happens is that weight goes down to the bottom. This bobber starts floating up. When it hits that bobber stop, it sits straight up and down. And then you've got your minnow floating off the bottom just like that. I may need to look for another. I'm definitely gonna hit that tree.
Yeah.
Here we go. There we go. All right.
Oh man, you foul hooked one?
I don't know what's the deal here. What do we got? What is it?
Catfish.
Species number 4. I think I mentioned we might catch some catfish in here doing this. And that's the neat thing about it, is it's a variety thing. These fish don't discriminate on these minnows. Oh, nice smallmouth just came up and busted on top there too. We'll have to get this old cat off here, and they're always talking to us. Can you hear it? Like, we're gonna let you go, buddy. You be good eating, but coming right in your living room. How about that? Catfish while we're out here bass fishing with minnows. So species number 4. You might have to come to the front.
This river that we were in was so low that, and any of you that have run a jet boat knows that there's times that even a jet can't cross over shoals. And as you can see right here, Wes is having a heck of a time. Of course, I'm staying in the boat. You know, I'm not going to get my feet wet. And he's having a heck of a time pushing that out here. But hey, he's young, he's a big old boy. He can push it out there.
I mean, is this not what jet boating is? I think anybody that uses their jet boat would be laughing, saying, man, I've been there.
You guys all know that's been there. Sometimes you just got to get out, and you just gotta get it. There's no reason to risk, you know, running over something that you're unfamiliar with or whatever, because all you're gonna do is just cause more damage. But looks like he's about to get her done right now. So we'll let him finish getting me pushed out into some deeper water, and we'll carry on with the show. What do you say?
It's such a fun way to fish. I've been taking my kids out doing this a lot. It's just a great way if you got little ones to not only catch fish, but make sure they're not hooking each other. And it's pretty simple rig. They can actually cast it when they get used to the momentum, and easy to unhook. So about as perfect a way as to get kids started fishing. And I've had so much fun doing it with them that I've been finding myself coming out and doing it on my own quite a bit. Especially if it's
Go!
Come on out of there, what we got? Spotted bass or largemouth? Spotted bass. What a fun way to catch them. Drifting a bobber into the shady laydowns on a clear river. Look at the ones with him. You see those? I don't know if the camera's picking that up or not, but several more really nice ones with him. These spotted bass, I tell you what, so Table Rock, this river feeds into Table Rock Lake, and these spotted bass are thick in Table Rock. And I fished this river since I was in high school, 2006. It's 2022 right now. You do the math on that. And we never caught spotted bass the first couple years that we were in here. And now I have a hard time catching as many smallmouth as I do spotted bass. And you know, you guys might know more about fish biology and this and that, but I don't know if it's a good or bad thing for the smallmouth population. Maybe the smallmouth will get bigger having them in here. It'll weed out some of the small ones, but hey, I don't think I'm mad about having them in here because these things fight hard. They're pretty, and they always say that little rough patch on their tongue right there, that'll tell you. See that little brown spot? That's a spotted bass. Some of them are hard to tell, but that's a surefire way to know. Here we go. It's these snags in these deeper, not deeper, but it got a little bit of depth pulls with some current going by. You can see my bobber's actually drifting finally. That's one of our struggles today, is that we haven't, yeah, there we go. See, right as we're talking about how it should be setting up, you gotta have a little current. I mean, it's hot still. Oh, he came off. But man, right on cue, and get a little bit of current and a little bit of depth in a laydown seems to be the ticket. There's just not a lot of these laydowns left with any sort of water on them. So when we do find one, we're going through the trouble of motoring down, turning around, and fishing it. Because even though they're few and far between right now, that was another nice little spot of bass. Well guys, thanks for watching this. This has been a fun little trip. I think I've done just about everything the river entails. Cast net, get out pushing, beaching the boat, drifting bobbers. We've got a channel cat, spotted bass, smallmouth bass, perch, 4 different species. I mean, how can you complain? Wish we could have caught a few more fish for you, but hey, you're seeing it all. Best in our worst. This wasn't the best day, it wasn't the worst, but it sure was fun. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. And watch us on our next episode somewhere. Not sure where, maybe Grand Lake, Oklahoma. Hint, hint. And we'll be back to you next time.